And welcome back, everybody, to the Podcaster Nation. That's right. I said welcome back because I know you were just listening to our stuff and you loved it so much that you came back for more. Folks, that was a brilliant decision. You know why it was a brilliant decision? Because we have a lot more for you. Now, why do we have so much more for you? Because this is the podcast. It's about podcasters, it's for podcasters, and it's done by podcasters. And our guest today, amongst some other things that he's doing, is wait for it, a podcaster. See, you are brilliant. I knew it. This is the place where everybody comes together to raise each other up, and this is the place where the rising tide raises all ships. So let's get sailing and bring in our guest today. This gentleman is a financial coach. He's a best-selling author of the book An eBay Seller's Guide to Financial Planning, and he's the host of the new hit podcast, The Prosperity Lounge. And I say no, he's been around for 7 months already. He's approaching 50 episodes. He's not new. The host of the Prosperity Lounge, please welcome Joey Ruffalo. Joey, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, buddy.
All right, man. Love it. Well, I tell you what, but we got plenty we can get into here, but just tell everybody a little bit about who is Joey Ruffalo,
Sure.
man. What are you about and how'd you get started in all this mess?
Well, I'm just a simple dude from grew up in Jersey, lived in California for about 20 years. Now I'm, as they say, and I don't want to offend anybody, I'm in God's country, East Tennessee, living in Knoxville for the last about 4 years, just living my best Southern mountain life as possible. Slower pace, just having some fun. Um, I'm a financial coach, small business coach. My wife and I own several small businesses throughout the years. Back in uh, Back in 2007, we got into about $370,000 in debt during that last financial crisis. I say we, but it was all me,
Hmm. Yeah.
trying to prove to people that I was smarter and the choices I made were correct. Instead of going to law school or grad school like my parents wanted or like I wanted originally, I ended up doing opening a pet sitting and dog walking business right out of college. And instead of helping people with their legal issues, I was picking up dog poop and scooping cat boxes. So people thought maybe, hey, not living up to your potential. But I was making a lot of money doing it, and I was showing people I was making a lot of money doing it by buying new cars, going on trips, eating at fancy restaurants, things like that. Financial crisis hit in 2007, 2008, right around then, and we went from a nice, cushy mid six-figure income to a low five-figure income, and we had nine independent contractors down to zero, and basically looked up and I was $370,000 in debt. Came home one weekend, Rory, and we had a 3-day notice on our door to pay our rent. We had a power was turned off notice and a water was turned off notice all in the same weekend, and had to run a shower hose up a flight of stairs, a garden hose up a flight of stairs from a community faucet in through my window into my bathroom to take a cold shower that weekend. And when I'm standing under that cold hose, I said, you know what? I think I'm the problem. So came home one day, driving home, and I heard Dave Ramsey on the radio. Dave Ramsey's a financial coach, financial plant guru kind of guy. And if
Yeah.
people aren't familiar with him, he was yelling, wasn't yelling at a lady. He was yelling at the situation the lady was in, and she was being bothered by creditors, and he was yelling at her, telling her how she should yell at the creditors. And I kind of freaked out a bit because I was like, you don't yell at the creditors because they got to work with them. You got to be nice to them. You got to be, friendly with them. Otherwise they're going to ruin you and they're your partner and stuff. And he was like, oh, you call them scum and goober and this and that. You hang up on them. So in that process, I learned a lot about what creditors can and can't do. I learned a lot about the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. I learned a lot about what my rights were as a creditor, as somebody who owed somebody money. And I came home and told my wife the story, and I said, "Hey, you got to listen to this guy. It's different than the normal stuff we listen to on the radio. It's different than music. It's different than talk radio. Just listen to this guy." And I had forgotten about it. The next day, I come home and she's in the corner of the living room. All the lights are off. She's got a little reading light on, and she's reading a book. And I come in, and I know something's up because all the lights are off. And I go, "I'm home." And she goes, "Hey, I went to the library today. I listened to that radio guy you told me to, and I went to the library and I got all his books." And she had a stack of Dave Ramsey books next to her. And she's reading Total Money Makeover. And she goes, "Oh, and I signed us up for his class, the financial peace class." The first thought, Rory, was, I don't know how we're going to pay for it. It's $199. I have no idea. We don't have the money.
Yeah.
That was my way of having a conversation with her that we were in trouble because I never spoke with her about it, that we were having issues.
Oh, geez.
But having her listen to Dave and Dave talk about people budgeting and this and that was my way of saying, hey, I think there's a problem. And so she heard Dave talk about it, and then she realized, hey, we're in that same situation. So how am I going to fix it? So she stepped up and signed us up for the class, and we went through the course. And about 2.5 years later, we were debt free, paid everything off, 370,000, student loans, cars, everything. There was a time when we were broke, and I didn't sleep for 2 years because every night I heard a rumble coming through my complex, like a big truck or something. I was like, my car's getting towed. Car's getting repoed. I would wake up, look out the window, and see, do I have to get dressed real fast and run downstairs and grab keys out of the car, grab something that I need for the next day? We kept my wife's car parked in a garage for a year. Didn't drive it because they can't open a garage to repo a car. So if they took mine, I'd have
Smart.
hers for a short amount of time just to make sure. So I was like, okay, let me just, these are the stuff you start scheming in your head, right? Stay ahead. We burned every bridge with family and friends for over money. Like it was all me. Like if I talked to my dad about it years later, he's like, no, there was never an issue. But to me, it was an issue. Like every time my dad would call, I'd be like, and somebody called him asking him for money from me because we have the same name and there's going to be an issue. So when we got out of debt, I told my wife, I don't know what this looks like, but I don't want somebody like us to go through the same process alone. So I got to be there for somebody. I don't know what it looks like. So let me research that. And went down the course to be a financial planner and went back to school to be a certified financial planner because I figured I can help people throughout all the processes. I can get them budgeting, I can get them trained up to invest, and I can invest with them, and I can walk with them through the entire process of their financial life. And my last course, so I did all my training for financial planning, and then I decided, you know what, I need to learn a little bit more about the nuances of finance. So I got an MBA in financial planning over and above what I needed to do, but I got an
Wow.
MBA in financial planning. And my last course I took in my program was a behavioral finance course. And that just kind of doubled down on what I was loving to do with coaching, getting to the root cause of people and how their relationship with money affects how they spend money, just digging deeper into the why as a, with their spending. And I came to the realization that I would be an okay financial planner, but I'm a kick-ass financial coach. So I leaned into that. I just knew for me, if the market dropped, like if I woke up in the morning and I looked at the stocks and I saw that the Dow was down 0.000001, I'd be like, oh my God, how much money did I lose my clients today? I wouldn't sleep. I don't have to worry about that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So you get into this now. Do you go right into the coaching of this? I mean,
Yeah.
and that's kind
I
of how
was
you
coaching
start.
pretty much while I was finishing my education. I started doing the Dave Ramsey coaching plan. So I started coaching through his program while I was finishing up because I figured I would do some coaching, have that background and training while I'm doing financial planning, and I'm kind of integrate everything into one. And while we were getting out of debt, we did a lot of side hustles. And so I started teaching people how to do side hustles and earn additional income and then hobby jobs into businesses. And eventually people left their careers to pursue their full-time, self-employment opportunities when we were training people up. And that's how I ended up with the book, The eBay Seller's Guide to Financial Planning, because we were selling on eBay a lot to get out of debt. And I was really heavy in the eBay community and the e-commerce community. So I wrote a whole book about how to turn your eBay business or e-commerce business really into a full-time thriving business, complete with succession planning and estate planning for it. I
Wow.
took my financial planning knowledge and put it into this for everybody to use. So,
Yeah,
yeah, so just started doing that in business coaching and pretty much doing that ever since.
that's really cool. Hold that up again so people who are watching it on YouTube or something can see it. But eBay, got Seller's Guide to Financial Planning, Joey Ruffalo, MBA. Nice, man. Okay, so
Yeah.
everybody knows what to look for and where to find that, and they can find that on Amazon or anywhere, right?
Find it on Amazon, and it's eBay heavy because it leans into the e-commerce. But any person doing a side business or a hobby business or anything that wants to turn into something into a business could use it. There's a lot of good tax advice on what deductions look like, small business taxes. There's things about investments and how to do a budget and independent contractor agreements and a whole bunch of stuff in the back that anybody can really use. The
Nice.
examples are eBay, but there's really you can apply those examples to any industry.
Wonderful. All right. It's quite a story, brother. I've been through some similar stuff, but I mean, um, I would imagine that with you being a financial coach now, having gone through what the people are going through that you're
Mhm.
coaching, that has to help you a ton in the coaching space.
Yeah, some I was trying to really lean into who I was and what my identity was, if I should really tell the story or if I was worthy enough to tell the story to clients. Because I was always under the impression that if somebody came to me and I told them how bad I was, that they would be like, "Well, why am I using you?"
Right.
They go into a trainer and I hate to use this example, but you go to the gym and you get a trainer and they're an overweight trainer and you're like, "Well, why am I listening to
Right.
you?" You know?
Exactly.
So it's kind of the same thing. And I felt like I wasn't worthy enough to kind of be there. And I talked to somebody about it and they told me, truest words I ever heard was, "You walk through a mess to deliver a message." And I said, "Man, you are right." And then he said, "You remember the end of Shawshank Redemption? Have you seen the movie?
Oh yeah.
Where Andy finally crawls through a half mile of crap to get clean on the other side?"
Literally. Yeah.
That's my story. I was in debt prison. I crawled through a mile of crap and I came out clean on the other side.
Nice.
So I lean into that as my visual for people.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, I would think that people who were in that position, would rather hear from somebody who has had a hard time and
Yeah.
followed these principles that he's getting ready to teach me and is living proof of the fact that it works.
You're right on that. It was my own head trash that got in the way of
Ah,
whether or not I was worthy, and my imposter syndrome initially, of whether I was worthy enough to tell the story and yeah, exactly what I just said.
yep.
It kind of takes me back to where I was in the beginning, right? I'm trying to prove people that I was smarter than everybody else by doing the wrong thing. So if I come across as a smart guru that didn't get into any trouble, then I would be like, wow, this guy's got it all figured out. No, I still don't have it figured out.
Sometimes that's the best thing to do with people you're coaching. Just be honest like
It's,
that,
that's right.
right?
That's right.
Hey,
We'll figure it out together.
yeah. That's the last person I would want to hear from is someone who was born with a silver spoon in their mouth, never had to struggle for anything, and, doesn't get what it's like trying to keep the lights on and having to like
Right.
run a garden hose up to my bathroom to take a shower. I mean, that's real life right there, brother.
Never
You
again.
know? Yeah, right on. Never again. I love that. So that's the purpose right there coming through, isn't it?
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So all of this together, I mean, I love your story. What makes you say, all right, I'm going to do all this, and this isn't enough. The book and the coaching, everything else. I need to do a podcast because I want to start talking about this more. And you even started your podcast through the radio, which is kind of an interesting, kick. So tell us how that all got rolling.
So this is actually probably my third iteration of a podcast that I've tried over the
Ah,
years.
okay,
Tell you that. A few years ago, I started one on eBay for resellers and had a co-host, and it was progressing to the point where it was doing something, but it was consuming me, and I wasn't doing it correctly, and I didn't follow the proper protocols, and kind of just I just shut it down. I got too overwhelmed, walked away from it. But I always loved interviewing people and talking to people. I look at it as a giant coaching session sometimes. My coaching sessions are like an hour. So doing an hour podcast with somebody was not really a big deal. I love the conversation, digging deep with people and just figuring out how we can improve each other. I did a second iteration. I was kind of along the path of what I wanted to do now. And it was me talking a bunch, occasionally having a guest. But my claim to fame with that one, Rory, is my podcast, and I have a picture of it, was ranked higher than Gary Vee's podcast.
there's got
Okay,
to
I
be
would.
an and or a but or something coming. Come on.
for about 2 days in Saudi Arabia.
I knew it. I was like, come on, give me the other shoe.
I
Give
think
me
I
the
was
other shoe.
number five. He was number six in Saudi Arabia on one day, and I took a screenshot of it to show that I was ranked higher than him, and I also was ranked higher than Dave Ramsey that day. So I was like, yes,
Oh, I would be framing
there
that
we
thing.
go. So that's my little funny side bit there. So I did that for a bit, and then COVID hit and kind of shut that down. But I was always wanting to kind of figure out how to do this again. And my wife was on me. She's like, you've been talking about doing a podcast forever. I've seen you do some of these things. You're good at it. You have a good time. You enjoy it. It's one of the few things you enjoy doing. Do it. And I just didn't know where to start again because I didn't want to do an hour of me just talking, and trying to find guests for a show that didn't exist felt daunting. So I had the opportunity to locally here in Knoxville, Tennessee, somebody approached me about coming on their radio show. I had a conversation, told my story, say, hey, I want you to come on my show and tell your story. So we did a pre-interview before coming on, and he goes, hey man, I'm really sorry. I don't think you're a good fit for my show, but I think you need your own show on the network that I'm on. So he put me in touch with the person there, and for the first month, I was like, okay. I went in and they said, hey, do you want to do an hour on Saturday mornings? And I was like, I can't do an hour. First of all, Saturday morning, 9:30 in the morning Eastern time. I'm like, I work all week. I don't want to have to get up early on a Saturday morning to go talk to myself.
Right.
So I ended up doing that for about a month. I did a half hour on Saturday mornings. And then I was having fun doing it. And I said, I think I need to do an hour, but I don't want to do an hour Saturday morning. And they said, well, we have Friday night available at 6 o'clock, which I'm like, that's drive time, Friday night, prime time. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. It's my first step into that window. So I started doing an hour on Friday night. The first hour I did was myself basically recapping the first 4 weeks, which I took people through a whole financial planning course, budget course, debt reduction course, and investments thing, kind of like that. And my wife was in the studio in the other room with the engineer. And at the end, she goes, that was great, but you need a guest. Nobody wants to hear you talk for an hour. I said, you're right. I need a guest. I'm hoarse. I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is going to get old pretty fast. So ended up getting a guest for the following week. My first guest was a 14-year-old home baker who bakes cakes, cookies, brownies, whatever, and sells them at the farmer's market. And I read something about her on Nextdoor and found her at a farmer's market, introduced myself, and I said, hey, I want you to come on and promote your product. She was very shy, very reluctant. Her mom came with her, obviously, and they sat in the studio. And the first episode, she's like, hi, yeah. Uh, but by the end of the episode, she was fine. She's fantastic. And off we were, running, having guests every week.
Wow. So you had a studio to work with and everything. I mean, the
Yeah, the
equipment was
radio
all provided
studio.
for you.
Yeah, I went there, and then what I decided to do was add the live stream element to it. So I live stream my radio show on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, The
Mm.
Prosperity Lounge, to give people like a back behind the scenes aspect of being in the studio with me and the guest. It's always like go live a little bit before, hey, we're here at the studio, setting everything up. And then that sort of whole process evolved over the last few months too, of getting the video done and the audio done. And gosh, I don't know how many things I've bought since then. I have wireless mics. I got a mixing board next to me that I'm using right now. I got my camera over here. I got ring lights. I got extra microphones and stuff now. And it's just as I go, it's getting more and more expensive. But the quality's getting better and better. So that's
There you
the
go.
improvements happening. So we just go every week, and we have guests in the community on Fridays who are local business owners, people that are just starting out, people that are doing community things, nonprofit organizations, a couple people running for local office, but I don't talk politics. I mean, I'm a political junkie, but I don't talk politics on the show. I tell people, I want people to learn who you are as a person, what your values and virtues are, what your leadership style is, and then people can make assumptions about how you're going to vote or how you're
Yeah.
going to do things later on. You don't have to be specific on things, but so it's been fun. We've had a lot of good episodes, and then I was just doing that on Fridays, and then had the opportunity to go to an event and do some on-site podcasting up at Liberty University with some CEOs. And I'm like, well, when am I going to release these? Well, I guess I got to do another day. I started releasing those on Wednesdays, and then got hooked on. And I said, I need more content. I need more people. Where am I going to go? And uh, hooked up with Podmatch
Yeah.
to which is where we're connected through, which is great.
Yeah.
And been now I'm releasing episodes 3 days a week. I mean, I went through my thing yesterday with my wife. We sit down and go, who's going to be a good guest? I had 31 inquiries yesterday in my box as I'm going back through the match or pass, and I'm looking at everybody, and I'm like, match, all right, match. This guy said something. He watched the episode. Match. All right, he said something I like. Match. Oh, he commented on something he listened to. Match. I match with everybody.
I was going to say, do you pass on anybody?
If you get my name wrong, or you are very hard to respond to, like it says, we responded 4 weeks, and they're handled by somebody else,
Oh,
eventually I'll go back in and I'll pass if I don't hear a response from somebody.
right
But
on.
I give everybody an opportunity.
That's awesome. Podmatch is a very, very cool platform. And,
Yeah, I'm
I'm
enjoying
glad.
that.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun using it too, in addition
Yeah,
to everything else that I do. But
that's been.
I'm glad that you found your way to that. Now, all of your episodes that you
Mhm.
do in the studio, they all become podcast episodes.
Yep. So my release schedule when I do my Friday night live stream is Monday morning. That episode's up on Spotify, Apple, everywhere else. I release it Monday morning. I have to
Nice.
get the audio from the studio, and I use that audio as the podcast audio. Nice,
Perfect.
clean, crisp radio audio.
Oh, I'll bet. I'll bet. So
Yeah.
are you able to do this full time, or is this a, part time, type thing for you? Or and how's that
It's
working?
yeah, it's been full time probably in the last 2 months as we've ramped up.
Okay.
Because I still do coaching in between, but I was doing a couple other things that I sort of had to let go that weren't lucrative, not lucrative, that weren't productive for me with my time. So that freed up my time to do more of the networking on the podcast basis. So that means, getting guests, doing pre-interviews, doing interviews and editing, but also reaching out to potential partners and advertisers and people that want to market with us and grow with us too. So that's
There you
been
go.
that other side of the coin because we've also grown or we're in the process of launching a 24/7 radio streaming channel, internet radio station, and also a 24/7 Roku Fire Stick app that'll be on your Roku for the Prosperity Lounge.
Nice.
That'll be all the episodes will be on there, plus also recruiting some people to come on the network to fill the gaps in programming that we have. Because it can't just be me 24/7. I gotta have some other people on there to kind of, you know, change the voice up a little bit.
Nice. I love that. So I mean, even at, just under 50 episodes, you're out there monetizing already.
Yeah, somebody
Beautiful.
told me, man, think like a media company. You're a media company, think like it. So I said,
100%.
what do I need to do to be a media company? And I just leaned into all aspects of media.
I
So
love that.
I love it.
What, if you don't mind me asking a little bit about the monetization, because,
hmm
a lot of people are very interested in that, when they listen to our show, of course. Where did you decide to start? Was it with advertisers or was it with sponsorships or, something else?
So I started with affiliate links first,
Ah, okay.
which are really easy to do. You can go to pretty much any company that you like. There's usually some sort of affiliate link you can sign up for and get a couple bucks back here and there.
Right.
And it was with the products I was using. So the fellow podcasters and friends that I'd started around the same time I did locally were always looking to me like, hey, what are you doing? Like, how are you progressing so fast? Like, how are you growing your channel? How are you doing this and that? But these are the tools I'm using. And they're like, oh, I want to use them too. And I'm like, well, okay, hold on one second. Let me sign up for an affiliate link. Here, use this link. And then I get a couple bucks back here and there.
Right.
So that was how I started using them. And I have a larger following on Instagram. On my JR, I have two Instagram accounts. I have a Prosperity Lounge account, which is newer, and then I have a JR Financial Coach, which is my established brand, and that's got about 50,000 followers there. So I did some. and I still do once in a while. I hate to use the word influencing on that account for brands. So that helps a little bit on that end, but that's been long established. So trying to reel people into the Prosperity Lounge universe from the other things that I've done has been, I already had something established to bring people into this newer product. So my main source of monetization right now is I'm lucky enough to have the radio show. So I have radio ads to sell. And by selling the radio ad on the station, I also provide them a live read on my show, and a bunch of stuff around the show. So what happens is, if I just give, let's say, Roy, you come to me and I go, I got an ad to sell you. You do an ad for your show. Plays on the radio. Great. You hear it when it's live on the radio. It aired, it didn't. I have no idea. But the way I do it is, hey, I get you the ad on the radio, but I'm also going to mention you on the show. I'm going to throw up a QR code on the screen. So therefore, when people watch the show back, they see the QR code. When they listen on Apple and Spotify or whatever, they hear the live read. So you're also getting the reach, not just the local market from radio, but you're getting that national and international reach from the video and the podcast as well. So it's a great deal.
Nice.
That's how I sell it.
Nice. All right. Good. And have you had some success with that? You got people,
Got a
signing up
couple
with you?
sponsors right now, yeah, and a couple
Nice.
more that we're working on. Plus, I also have some other areas where people can get involved. Like I have a what I call Prosperity Lounge Partners Directory. So it's an online directory of people that I recommend and refer out to, local businesses and people, not just locally, but all over. Insurance, real estate, financial professionals. People have been asking me for years, like, who do you recommend? Who do you recommend? Well, I got 30 financial planners in my head that I can recommend to you. I don't know which one I want to hear. Go to my directory now and figure it out. And so businesses can get a free listing there, and there's opportunities to upgrade to feature listings. And then those come with perks like one-on-ones with me and coaching sessions and marketing sessions and things that I do that normally I would charge a lot of money for a one-to-one with a normal client, but I'm going to give you as part of this program. And it kind of gives businesses a way to get into our sphere, but not have to outlay a lot of money up front for featured advertising and top of show advertising and things like that. So it's a way to kind of be connected and be a partner with us as we grow.
Nice. Nice. Well, congratulations on all of that. I
Thank you.
love to hear all this stuff, especially, with the rate in which you're growing. With a show that's growing the way this one is, you're already into monetizing the whole bit. You got a studio, you're on the radio. I mean, you got a lot of pieces flying. You got a book, that's awesome. So you put all these things together. How do you go about promoting this to, sort of keep spurring on that growth? And what's worked, what hasn't, for you in your world?
Yeah, so Facebook has been really great. I mean, and I have a lot of local networking groups that I go to on a weekly
Okay.
basis.
Like bought,
Um,
paid for ads or organic stuff.
just organic through my own Facebook posts
Hmm.
and people sharing, and then the local Facebook groups that are able to join in, like community groups.
Yeah.
Since on Fridays I do mostly community conversations, so I promote in the community groups. Like, hey, this week, for example, I have a nonprofit coming on this week that's local to the area. It does they're sort of like Make-A-Wish Foundation for the local area. So as I promote them, I tag them. They promote it on their socials, which have several thousand followers, and I also promote it in the local Knoxville group, Knox County group, town group. Hey, these people are coming on. Pay attention. This is how you can get involved. So one of the things I found, and this is my secret sauce, I'll say, is a lot of these groups don't want you to self promote your stuff.
Hmm.
A lot of them don't want self promotion.
Yeah.
I'm never self promoting me. I'm promoting my guest. So they allow these posts to go through more frequently. It's never about me. I always think when we're doing this, and my take is it's never about me. It's about my guest.
Right.
I can't outshine my guest. Um, so I'm always promoting the guest. So they allow that to go through on a more frequent basis because it's not me, it's the guest. So that
Good thinking.
helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps me get more of a promotion out there and more of a authority. So when other people come into those groups and try to promote their podcast, they're all denied, but I'm the only one getting pushed through on a lot of local groups. So I'm happy for that. Plus, I've made friends with the people that run the group and the admins and stuff, and they know that I'm not going to spam them every day. I'm putting up one or two posts a week as it gets closer to showtime for people to remember it. And that's what I was doing for that. But I already had a well-established business in the area doing the coaching, so I kind of leaned into the connections there. And LinkedIn's been very, very great to post on as well. But yeah, one of the things I do, and this is kind of unique, I think, to me. And gosh, man, I'm going to put it out there. Everybody's going to start doing it. But my my all right. So let's say, for example, Rory, you're going to come on my show, and you're gonna be a guest on my show, and we do our pre-recording and stuff, and then I'm like, I'm going to edit it and I'm going to release it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I tell my guests about 2 weeks ahead of time. 3 weeks. I'm going to start promoting the episode. So I'm going to start putting reels, clips, shorts up. I'm going to start tagging you in things. Share it with your audience. You don't have to share everything because it could be a lot. Just share as much as you can. And then the night the show airs, I do a YouTube premiere for my interview style podcast on Monday and Wednesday. 6 o'clock on YouTube Eastern time. I do a YouTube premiere. The video goes up. There's a live chat. I'm in the live chat chatting as we're watching the video. Right after that video ends, I immediately go and do a live takeaway episode of what I learned from my guest. We have a live interaction. I invite my guest to co-host with me that night. So they're in the chat answering questions, and they come and do a live episode right after with me for about 30, 40 minutes, and we continue the conversation. Did that yesterday with a guest, and it was a CEO of a company, my last episode, and he was in the chat, came in, we talked for another 40 minutes on the takeaways and questions and stuff afterwards. So kind of that promotion there is giving you ownership of the episode, and you're going to want to promote when you're a co-host on the Prosperity Lounge rather than just a guest, right? So that's how I run my stuff.
That's awesome, man. I can see all the moving parts, and I can fully understand why that's so valuable, to do it that way.
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry about people copying you, man. That's way too much work
So I
for
was going to say,
for
it's a lot
most
of work for
folks,
somebody to do after the first time they try it. And I do that 3 times a week. So
right? Yeah, I mean, there are people I talk to every single day because I coach podcasters, and people will tell me, "Oh, I don't have time to post. I don't have time to make a post." Like,
I got 12 apps on my phone that'll make a post for me in 2 seconds.
seriously. I mean, buy a service that will do it for you. I mean, grab any photo in your phone, put a tagline on it and an at, and
Right.
you got to post. But yeah, so nobody's going to go to that kind of trouble. But man, I tell you what, I love the way your brain works. I mean, I'm just having a big appreciation for how outside of the box you are looking in. I mean, you got an aerial view of what's happening, which is really, really cool and different. So kudos, man. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm liking that a
I
lot.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's hard when I do all that video, man. When they tell me I have a face for radio and I'm doing all that video, it's kind of hard.
Listen to this. You're killing me, man. All right. Well, let me ask you this. This is my corny
Mhm.
question I ask everybody. Okay.
All right.
When it comes to doing the podcast, what is it about doing the podcast that you love the most? And what is it about doing the podcast that you just absolutely throw it out the window, can't stand, hate the most?
All right. I'll say what I love the most is meeting the people, the interaction, the connection with the person that I'm talking to, learning more about them, the camaraderie we have afterwards, the deepness that we can get into the conversation, the way that I'm able to take them places that they didn't think they were going to go, and maybe were unwilling to go at first, but said, ah, screw it, we're going to go there with you. I've never talked about this with anybody before. I don't know if they're just throwing that out there every episode or they're throwing that out with me. I love that. So I love that part of it because I think at the end of the game, at the end of the day, when I get off the phone with them or the call with them, I've made, I don't want to say a friend, but I've made somebody that I can connect with later on, and we're going to be able to do something together. It's not a one-off with most people. We connect on LinkedIn. There's something we're going to do later on together. I just know it.
Right
I
on.
love that aspect of it, the kind of growing the connection, growing the space, because I know they're going to support me and I'll support them. What I hate, and hate's such a strong word at this point, But what I dislike the most, or what I have the most struggle with, is I dare say time management, but I'll say time management. It was time management and it was editing. It's still a little bit of editing. I hate editing. I don't like to edit. I do as little as possible, especially on the audio video side. Do as little as possible. I love the rawness of the conversation. We screw up, we screw up. We're human. Let's put it out there. My conversations are you, me, and somebody else at the table next to us. And we're just having a conversation. And that somebody else is the audience. We screw
Right.
up, we screw up. No big deal. Um, I don't like things that are too polished where you can tell the cuts are there. Like, what did they say? What did they mess up on? I want to know. They're human. I want to, but as I've, and I guess this is a tip for your audience as well, as you do it and as you learn the processes, you'll find things to make it a little easier. So it's less hateful as you go.
Less hateful. I love
Less hateful.
that. I mean, editing is usually, top answer on the board type of thing, when people are talking about
Yeah.
this. So I don't blame you. You're not alone, for sure.
No, it took me a while to get a template down. Like I use Final Cut on my Mac to
Mm.
edit. A lot of people use different stuff. I use Final Cut, and I did an episode where I liked how it looked, and I said, "Man, I wish I could just replicate this." And I'm Googling, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, trying to find out how I can just save this as a template. And then I click on this little button that says "Duplicate Project," and I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me! That's been here the whole time." Click on "Duplicate Project." It just made a copy of that project. I just renamed it, took out the one person's clip, put in the new clip, and I'm like, changed the wording on the text box, and I'm like, man, that took me 5 minutes as opposed to pulling everything in again, upload. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I figured that out. So yeah,
Accidental
just playing
streamlining.
with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's the thing
Beautiful.
too, is that people will hate things, but learn the process and then learn how to make that process better
Right.
for yourself.
Right on. You're giving great advice already, man. I love this. As I was listening to your podcast, and I really enjoyed the episodes,
Thank you.
but it occurred to me, you're a financial coach, best-selling author about financial stuff,
Mhm.
graduate of the Dave Ramsey, program and everything else. But not all of your guests are, on there for money or talking about money and that type of thing. You've got a pretty unique arrangement of guests. So how do you decide who it is you want to have on? Or is it literally whoever just, says, "Hey, put me on the show," and you just hit match, match, match?
Yeah, so the four pillars, I say there's five pillars. There's four pillars of the Prosperity Lounge. It's finance, small business, leadership, and community.
Hmm.
And they're all kind of, you could stand on their own, but they're all kind of connected through a, a rope of faith, I'll say. So there's always a little bit of faith undertone. I'm still learning all about faith. I'm still trying to figure all that stuff out myself. So having the guests come on and kind of give me a little bit of tidbits here and there, it helps me out. This show is about helping me grow personally. My audience grows with me. I love it. It's about helping me grow. So I'm kind of doing it for self-serving reasons, maybe. But so my local guests are all, like I said, they're the Friday show that comes out on Monday. That is that's community leaders, nonprofits. That's people that are running for office. That are people that are just starting a business. That's somebody who's maybe they got a big charity event coming up. We're talking about their program. We're talking about what they got going on, things like that. The ones that I'm releasing on Monday night and Wednesday night on the live premieres and then on Spotify and all that stuff. Those are the ones that I'm doing interviews that are more leadership based, community business based. A little bit of finance in that as well. And that's the ones that I do. I do locally, I do Podmatch, or I do other sources for guests there. And I do bring the same kind of questions into each episode for I want to know about what they're doing and then how it can improve somebody. I think that's the two main arches for
Hmm.
the episode. What are you doing and how does it improve somebody? And then I'll dig deeper on some aspects about how it's improving me or how it could improve me, and then by virtue of my audience. But I've run into people that do similar things. Like, hey, I'm a health coach. I'm also a health coach. Two different approaches, two different styles, two different outcomes. and it's two totally different conversations. I go into a conversation being like, man, it's another health coach. What am I going to say this time that's different? I want to ask the same questions, but I get a different answer right off the bat, and I'm already deviated from what I want to ask. And I'm down a whole other pathway, man. I have questions on my screen that I'm going for. I had an episode the other day. At the end, I told the guy, I said, look, I got 20 questions here I didn't ask. So I got to have you come back for part two because I did not get into anything over here. We started off on here. I thought this was going to be an aside, and we went right down this road. And it was a fun conversation.
Nice.
Yeah,
Those are the best conversations sometimes.
it was fantastic, dude.
Yeah, I love that part of it. Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, I have one more question for you before we round
hmm
this out. But before we get there, tell everybody, contact information. How can they find your book? How can they find the podcast? How can they find more about your coaching? Go for it.
Absolutely. So if you're on Facebook, you can go to the Prosperity Lounge as a Facebook page. You can also just friend request me at Joey Ruffalo or follow me. There's two Joey Ruffalos on there. You'll see one with a nice little point. That's me. The other one's me too, but it's a family one. Don't bother with that one. I don't post there. Follow the point one. That's the one
Okay,
you want to follow. I'm on LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn as well. I'm getting big all over there as well. So I'll connect with everybody on LinkedIn. Instagram, same, JR Financial Coach or the Prosperity Lounge. TikTok, same kind of stuff. I'm everywhere on that. I don't post as many places as I'd like to, but I'm everywhere. And then YouTube. YouTube is huge. At the Prosperity Lounge on YouTube, we currently have over almost 2,100 subscribers. We started
cool.
back in May. We just crossed that. And then Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Pandora, Castbox, Pocket Cast, anywhere you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to the Prosperity Lounge. There, we also just launched, beginning of January, our Daily Dose of Prosperity show, which is a Monday through Friday 5 minute or less, quick hit daily dose of prosperity. I say in the intro, I don't want to waste your time. Here it is. Take it away. And it's something we're kind of building throughout the year. Episodes kind of build on each other on different disciplines, on stewardship, this leadership, um, discipline, faith, all this kind of stuff. Real quick hit, easy to listen to. And those episodes are also visual on YouTube as well in our daily dose playlist.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah,
Now, I don't want to miss this either. You have a free community
I
that
do.
you are putting together that you're building right now as we speak. So tell everybody about that, how they can look into that.
Yeah, it's at theprosperitylounge.com.
Okay.
You can go there. If when you sign up, use promo code radio, and I'm going to give everybody a free 8-step action guide to stop living paycheck to paycheck directly to your email box. And then free community. It's like a Facebook group on steroids. You can get in there. There's going to be a bunch of stuff to start doing. There's a course in there, a free course on budgeting. Um, Man, there's a whole bunch of PDFs and tools. Post questions to people. You'll connect with people that are business owners, CEOs, people going through problems just like you. A whole walk of everybody's in there, and we're kind of growing that this year. We have links to our partners program in there, which is our directory of trusted businesses that we recommend for everything. And then we are launching, man, I wish I had more. I wish I had the time. We are launching our Prosperity Council Mastermind this month as
There it is.
well.
All right.
And that's going to be our high level mastermind group. We're going to meet once a month for about an hour, hour and a half. Business owners, but it's not just business owners. You have an issue with your finances. You don't know what's going on with your job at work. Get in there. You'll connect with people that can help you walk through different phases of your life and different situations you're going for. Put you on the hot seat once in a while and just connect and make some connections. And we're all going to be prosperous at the end of the day.
Beautiful. Love that goal. All right. All right. Last question, brother.
Yes, sir.
You've been doing this for a minute. You're approaching 50 episodes, which is an awesome milestone to hit. With 3 times a week, you're going to be at 100 on your doorstep before you
I
even
know.
know it. So congratulations on that too, which is coming. But what's your best piece of advice for the podcasters who are out there listening who are just not quite where you are yet?
Oh, that's a great question. Because I don't think I want anybody to kind of be where I'm at. I think you have to look at where you want to be. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be a once a week? For me personally, like we joked before we went on in a little bit, and about connections and kind of making those connections to be have guests on the show. And I joked that I had a bunch of people in my inbox, and I was just like, yes, 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 yes,
Right.
and I'll figure it out. And it was like 30 people. Um, no, I can plan that, Rory, where I go 30 people and go, great, I have my year planned out. I release one episode a week. I got 30 weeks done, plus whatever I already have in the can. I'm done for the year. Or like somebody like me that's ambitious and goes, and my wife looked at me and she looked, when are you going every day now? We got enough to do daily. And I'm like, I just went from one to two and then two to three. Let's see what daily is going to look like because I have to do a lot of the editing on my end. So the more I do, the more work I have to do. But as I streamline it, it gets a little easier. So think about where you want to be and what your goal is. If your goal is, I'm having fun doing this, and this is a pipeline for me, or this is going to be something fun for me to do as an outlet, map out what that's going to look like in a year. Are you still going to have fun doing it at the end of the year? If not, then maybe think about if this is for you.
Hmm.
You got to have fun doing it.
Nice.
You got to have
Uh,
fun doing it.
I think that's the lost art, man. That's the thing that people lose sight of first, is that this is
Hmm.
supposed to be fun.
Yeah. And second part of that is if you look at me and you go, man, Joey's doing 3 episodes a week in 7 months. He's eventually going to do five. He's got this going on. He's got a radio thing. He's got streaming this, oh, man, that's crazy. I want to get there too. Just know that like I've been doing this a long time. I just haven't been doing podcasting a long time. So I had these all kind of in place. I knew what I was kind of getting into and I knew what I was looking to accomplish.
Uh,
So have those goals, but don't rush them. Get your sea legs under you, as they say. Do the episodes, and then see if this is something that you want to ramp up, and then slowly ramp it up.
nice.
What I do is not for everybody. Premieres and live streams, and that's not for everybody. You said it earlier yourself. It's not for everybody. You just might want to do a 30-minute takeaway on something that you're doing. Do it. Get started and do it, and then see where it goes, and then have a plan.
Love it. Great advice, man. I appreciate it very much. And quite a story you have here, my friend. It's great.
Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate
No,
it.
man, it's my pleasure. Folks, financial coach, best-selling author, and host of the Prosperity Lounge, Joey Ruffalo, coming on today. Joey, thank you, man, for coming on, sharing what you did, and giving out such just great nuggets, wisdom, and advice to everybody. And best of luck on your journey, man, because you are going places.
I appreciate that. And yeah, as you can see right behind me here, I got my little fan club,
Right on.
Joey fan club stuff. Yeah, a guest of mine made that for me, and we wear it around. I have shirts and everything now.
Beautiful. All right, man. Okay, so join the fan club too, folks. I assume that's accessible through the website.
Just join the community.
All right, that's
Be
it.
a member of the fan club.
You got it. Folks, that's been another awesome episode of the Podcaster Nation. And the reason we have such fantastic podcasters on this show is because this is the show that's about podcasters. It's for podcasters. It's done by a podcaster. And folks, like we said before, and like we say every single time we sign off here, this is the place where the rising tide truly raises all ships. So keep sailing.